All right, welcome to another edition of the Big Blue Report featuring that guy, two-time Super Bowl champion, former Giants defensive captain, Giants legend, the one and only Jonathan Casillas, the football professor himself, Ryan Darlington, and I'm Randy Zellea from Back Sports Page. Just a reminder, this is a listener-supported podcast supported by you, the Giants fan, the listener. Get the gear that your new head coach, John Harbaugh, wears. Go to NFLshop.com right now. Click on the link in the description below. Help keep this show free for you. Support Big Blue. Support the Big Blue Report. And go to NFLshop.com right now. As I just said, gentlemen, we have a new coach.
We sure do.
Of the New York Football Giants. And you know what? Let's dive right into it, shall we? Let's invite our coach, the one and only, the legendary Herman Edwards, to join us on the show right now. Herm, first off, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. It is an honor for us to have you on with us.
Well, if you're a Giant fan, obviously, you got to be pretty excited about getting Coach Harbaugh to be your head coach. I mean, he has great pedigree. And I think the good thing about Harbaugh is that he can deal with the media. And I think some people don't realize how big that is, especially when you're in New York. Now, he's been in Baltimore, and Baltimore still is not New York, but he's well aware of what you have to deal with, and it's part of it. It's part of your job, you know. And I think he's going to a tradition. When you think about the New York Giants, I mean, you can go all the way back. I mean, and that's one of the franchises that the NFL knows about. So I mean, it's a wonderful place. Obviously, New York. You get a lot of media attention. That's why you got to play good. If you don't play good, the media can be hard sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, tell real quick, Randy, why? Because I played in New York. I'm from Jersey. I've been a fan of the New York teams all my life.
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear what I'm saying?
I didn't hear what he said.
Okay, can you hear me now?
JC, I hear you. Ryan, do you hear
me?
Yeah, I can hear everybody. Yeah.
Okay. It might be a technical difficulty. Herb, can you hear JC
now? Can you hear me now, Coach?
I can't hear JC.
Can't hear me? Dang.
Uh-oh.
I can hear you two guys, but I can't hear JC.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird.
That ain't good.
No.
That ain't good at all.
Live show, folks. Here we go.
It's never wrong when it's live. Just remember
That's
that.
it. That's it.
Hey, Ryan, what you think I should log in?
Just kind of tell me what he's saying, and then I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We can
simple
translate.
question. I'll ask. Simple question. Because Coach Herm, he has a lot of experience in New York. Why is it so hard to coach in New York?
Yeah.
What is going on?
So the question is, you've got a lot of experience coaching in New York. Why is it so hard to coach in New York specifically as opposed to another location?
Well, I think, I don't know if it's specifically that hard. It's just real. I mean, it's the volume of it all, and you don't anticipate it until you stand there and you have your first press conference. You realize, oh boy. I mean, we were, I left. So, I first started out in Kansas City. And media market there's, okay. Yeah. And then as an assistant coach, then I went with Tony down to Tampa. And then from Tampa, I went to New York, and I'm thinking, hey, man, I know how to do this. I was assistant head coach. I dealt with the media some. And then the first press conference, my wife's with me and, she said, you should wear a suit. And I said, nah, I don't wear a suit. I don't wear a suit, And she said, you take some notes? And I said, nah, I'm going to be good. I'm fine. And so I walked in there, and all of a sudden I looked and I went, I told my wife, I whispered, I said, I probably should have took some notes. I said, there's a lot of folks in here. But I was okay. I was fine. You deal with it. But they come at you now, and they're very educated. And they come from and there's always some that, no matter what you do, it ain't never good enough now. And that's part of it. I got a great letter in my desk drawer when I became the head coach of the Jets. It was from Coach Parcells and gave me some great advice and just read the kind of letter and kind of laughed. I went, okay. And basically what he said, hey, Ern, he said, you be you and you go at it.
Nice.
Said you set the tone. Don't let them set the tone on you. You go set the tone. And I got that.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I had a good, I think, relationship with the media. Lo and behold, now I'm a media person, but it's just, I think all coaches have an obligation, as well as players, no matter how the game turns out, no matter how you coached or how you played, you owe the media, but not only the media, the fans.
Yeah.
You can't always talk to them when it's good.
Yeah.
You got to stand there and take the bad ones too.
Oh, yeah.
And just be forthright, just tell the truth. And I think people respect you when you do that.
When it comes to dealing with the players, dealing with the media is a whole nother ballgame. Dealing with the players themselves, I get the sense that when Harbaugh comes in, he's going to be more of a CEO rather than kind of a hands-on guy. Do you get that sense as well, or how did you do your coaching when you were in the NFL?
Well, I think the first thing you do when you become a head coach, you coach the coaches first.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. You got to coach the coaches. Because when you break up in those individual meetings, we all have to say the same thing. I can, so don't try to take the personalities away from coaches. That's fine. But here's the message. The head coach sees the team before anybody. You deliver the message. And then from there, when they break up into the position groups, you got to make sure you're carrying that same message. It has to be the same. And I used to tell the coaches, I said, look, you're the coach, and I'm going to let you coach. I'm not one of those guys, but understand this. When I say something, it's not a suggestion. It's not a suggestion. It needs to get done. And I'm looking for you to get it done. And I've always, what these coaches need to realize, and I know this was for me too personally as going back in my playing days, they're going to respect your title, players, because they grow up in this world of football.
Yeah.
But here's the real deal, though. It's not respecting your title. You got to earn their trust.
Right. Yeah.
You got to do that. You got to earn their trust. And you do that every day. And you do that when it gets hard. And you do that when a player doesn't do exactly what he's supposed to do in a game. And I've always said this. That's when you coach.
Yeah.
Practice is when the game starts. And when that player comes to the sideline, you know what? He's looking for answers.
Right.
He ain't looking for you to chew him out. Right. How do you fix him? Because you ain't cutting him. He going back in the game, and you got 30 seconds to fix him. He wants an answer. You can't sit there and say, hey, no. Them players, I told them coaches, I said, you do your best job of coaching on game day. You got to coach on game day, man. Because that whole plan we got, it could be blown up in the first quarter. Then what you going to do? And the players are looking at you like, okay, coach, what you going to do now? Right? Once you earn their trust, them players will play hard for you, man. They won't even question it.
Is it consistency? Is it just a consistency of a message that really helps drive it home?
It is, and knowing that, and I don't say, look, a lot of coaches played football. A lot of them, played high school football, maybe never played college football. And I'm not saying you have to be a pro football player to understand it, but it gives you how those players feel. Look, here, and I hate to bring this subject up, but be real. My first year, we lose our first game. And we come back. And the next game, we're supposed to play the Raiders in Oakland. On that Monday, I believe it was, 9/11 hits.
Oh, my God.
And I went, uh-oh. I called the league office. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to let you guys know Thursday. I said, what? Thursday? I said, are we really? Yeah. And I said, oh, no. No, we can't get a football game. So I hung the phone up, went to the GM. I told him, I said, hey, man, we can't even think about playing a game. He said, what you want to do? I said, well, we ain't going to play. If they decide to play, we're not going to play. And he said, you okay with that, coach? I said, I'm fine. I said, we got to call the owner, tell the owner. So we called Woody up, and he says, well, we're not going to play. And he said, the league's canceling the games? I said, no. We don't know what the league's doing. Hey, then he says, well, what does that mean? I said, we 0-2. We're 0-2. First year as a head coach, I'm 0-2. Started off with a bang, 0-2, right? So I bring the players in on Monday, and I told them, I said, hey, man, You guys go home. We ain't playing.
Hmm.
I said, oh, we good. Go home with your families. You go do what you got to do. We ain't going to play. If they say we're playing, we're not going, boys. We're going to forfeit the game. We're going to be 0-2. Let me tell you something. From that day, back in the league, cancel the games. We went as a team on buses and went down to the spot of 9/11.
Yep.
And went down there and giving the first responders water and telling them, thank you, man, for what you do. That day, when I told them players we ain't playing and they didn't know what the league was going to do, I earned their trust.
Sure. Awesome.
Earned their trust.
That's a great story.
And if Coach Herm still can't hear me, I'm gonna try to keep it short so you guys can repeat it.
Okay.
And I've said this plenty of times to you guys about the respect factor, right? I said that the players don't respect the coaches, and I think you're seeing that. It's easy to have the respect of the guys when you're winning and everything, but it's when the shit hits the fan, that's when you really see the true character of anybody. But I think that's kind of what happened in New York. A lot of adversity hit for a few years, and I think that's how they lost the locker room. And you get a guy like John Harbaugh in there who has a proven track record, who doesn't go up and down, who stays steadfast through the whole thing. I think this is a perfect fit for the Giants, for the media, and most importantly for the locker room. I said I was going to keep it short.
I was going to say, bro, you said you were going to keep it short. So, Herm, I'm assuming you still can't hear JC.
No.
Yeah,
tell me what he said.
So basically what he was saying is one of the things that we've said on the show a number of times is that it's really crucial to have the respect of the players in the locker room, or they're not going to play for you. They're not going to do what it is we need for them to do all the time. And so we've been so up and down over the course of the last few years. That's been one of our major problems. But he brought up the fact that, when Coach Harbaugh comes in, there's an instant credibility there. There's an instant degree of respect put on the name just because of the record, because of his pedigree, all of this kind of stuff. So he feels like it's really kind of a perfect fit for what this particular team needs, given the lack of discipline, given the lack of accountability and things like that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Well, that and is that the first thing the players are doing, they're calling the Baltimore players.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, man, tell us about this guy, right? Yeah. They're getting intel. They're going to get the intel on Coach, right? And how is he when things are going bad? Yep. They want to know all that. Yeah, they ain't gonna be surprised. So they're gonna know more about the coach than the coach knows about the players. They're gonna do their homework. And so with that being said, I think he's walking into a situation, and I think the players appreciate him. This coach has won. Mm-hmm. He's so the one thing we do know, and if you better look out, because his background is special teams.
Oh wow!
So that he's a special team coach. Yeah, that's how he made his life's work doing special teams. You can coach them all, but his baby is special teams. So if you're a special teams player, you better be on point, because he's coming in there now and he's going. This is what it's, and rightly so, because special teams wins or loses a lot of games according to how you play.
This year.
Yep.
Hey, Coach, can you discuss basically the interview process when you're talking with management and your experience of going through the head coaching interview? What is the experience like going through it? Obviously it's changed through the years, but from your memories of going through these interviews, can you talk about what that process was like?
First thing they want to know is, have you looked at the roster? And they ask you about the players, and you give them, okay, like they're going to ask, you good with the quarterback. But he can't, he's going to ask about the position groups and have you studied them? He said he studied them. They got a good front four. We know that they can get after the quarterback. Scatterboo obviously is a good player. He's got to be smarter too. He can't run over everybody he sees because he won't last long. Yeah. But they have some pieces. Then they're going to ask him this: who are your coordinators? Mm-hmm. They want to know that right away. Who's your offensive coordinator? They want to know the offensive guy first, because the offensive guy, then he's going to ask him this: what is your system? What are we running on offense? What are we running on defense? And generally you say this, and being honest, because you've looked at the roster and say, Coach, we would like to do this because the players that we have right now fit this. Your system has to be multi-dimensional. It can't be a system where you say, well, this guy don't fit. Well, wait a minute, Coach. That guy's on a 4-year deal. He got to fit. Yeah. And if your system, I always say this, the system's the players, man.
Yeah.
And if your system is, you got a bad system, by the way. You serve the players. They don't serve. I've always said, being a head coach, you serve the players. They don't serve you. Because I say it as a former player, the players play. The coaches get to make decisions, okay, but they don't play. Coach ain't hit nobody. Coach is standing on the sideline. The players are the one to play. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, you go, hey, man, how do I make – these players want to know, Coach, with my talent and my ability, can I play in your system? Yeah, you can play. Mm-hmm. Once the players buy into that, they're like, hey, man, we good, right? Because the players don't want to fail. I ain't never seen a pro football player want to fail.
Mm-hmm. or accept it when they do.
No.
Really ain't it.
The players vote for the captains, right? But what I did is from each level, and there was about 5 of them, I had a leadership committee that I selected. A leadership committee. Some of the old heads, some of the middle tier guys, and then a couple rookies. And we would meet once a week, especially in the offseason, we'd meet. And I always wanted to know, how we doing, boys? How am I doing? Right? They're not rats. They're just information providers. Yeah. Now, me personally, Harbaugh probably just said that. Man, there be times when we start camp and stuff, we go in the locker room, I'm sitting in the locker room. The players say, Coach, why are you in here? I say, man, I ain't been in the locker room a long time. I just want to be in here with the boys. He said, really? I said, yeah, man, I'll be in here with you guys, man. I ain't been in the locker room a while. I just want to be in I want to hear the noise. Yep. I just want to hear the noise. Right? See, sometimes, you get caught up being the head coach and you ain't around the players. I sat in every position group meeting. The first meeting I sit in is with the quarterbacks. I sat in there with the quarterbacks, right? And then from there, I went to the offense. I went to the offensive line. They saw me more than the defense saw me. I know what they're doing on defense. I want to make sure the offensive players do. See, because what you all of a sudden, your instincts get you going to one side of the ball, and before you know it, you ain't visiting with the other guys. I stayed in the offensive meetings. The defensive players say, Coach, you gonna come to our meeting? I said, man, I know what y'all doing, just don't screw it up. Mm-hmm. Right? So hats. Gotta wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. What is your impression of what the first thing Harbaugh is going to do when he gets there, right? I mean, is it meeting with the players? Is it setting a stage? Is it, what do you think?
He's going to meet with the players, but he's going to get this leadership group together.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
He's going to know who those guys are. Who are the voices in the locker room, right? Who are the voices? Mm-hmm. And look, and he's going to say this. Before. He wants to know that. Not saying the other coach did something wrong. He wants to know that. And then he's going to tell these leaders, this is my schedule. Yeah. Although they already know that because they've already made calls to their buddies in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And they're telling them, hey, man, this is what he's going to do. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Yeah. Right? So they already got the DNA on Coach. He's just got to figure out who the players are.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he brought some players over from Baltimore with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. Yeah, because you always want a few that have been in your.
Yep.
Because that's pretty important.
Set the tone, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. When Brian Dable first got to New York, he did that exact thing. He bought some players, pretty much I think one per room, for each position room. So guys who understood his system back when he was in Buffalo. Can you talk about the importance of that strategic move? Is it one of those moves of having a player in there that says, you know what, look, this works. Trust me, I've been through it. You
got to be careful. You got to be careful with that. You know, you can bring a few, but then again, in today's world, you know, these players all talk. Yeah. They all talk at the end of the day. They all talk. They know. And if you have the ability to bring one or two, that's great. But if not, you got to make sure that you know you got to know the room.
Yeah.
You got to know who the leaders are, you know. And it ain't always a team captain.
Right.
Right. I want to know the big boys, offensive line. Who's their guy? Defensive line, who's their guy? Right. You got to know the room. I mean, and it takes the offseason. I know what Coach Harbaugh is going to do. He's going to meet with every individual player. Yeah. That's what you got to do too. You got to meet with all of them. Yep. Individually. You have couple, you bring them in. You know, you bring in so many in a day, and the next day you get the next. And the players are going to see FaceTime. And the first question you ask them, what happened? What happened here? Mm-hmm. Be honest.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You ask that you're ripping the coach. What happened here? Why did this not work? And they'll tell you, and you'll have different opinions. It's okay. You're just gathering information, man. You're an information gatherer. That's what you are as a coach. You gather the information so you can quantify it and say, okay, here's the information. Now, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah. It's dispassionate. It's cerebral. Right. I mean, it's while the game itself may be played with all kinds of heart and all kinds of passion, when you're talking about being that head coach, it's a matter of kind of having all the details down.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the first things I did with the players, I brought my leadership group in and said, here's the deal, man. I said, anytime we go west, from the Midwest to the West Coast, I looked at them, I said, now here's the deal. We leaving. Get me, boys. We leaving on Friday. They said, what? I said, yeah. We ain't leaving on Saturday. We leaving on Friday. They said, no, coach. I said, oh, yeah, we leaving on Friday. We're going to leave Friday. We're going to spend 2 days? I said, 2 days. The players were like, let me tell you something, man. Little things like that, when you take those dudes out on Friday on a West Coast game, and Saturday they wake up and they have a walkthrough and everything we did at home, we do it there. Then they got all day Saturday to watch games. They get acclimated. When you go on Saturday and you land and they got to wake up the next day to go play a football game in meetings, man, the players, I know how I felt as a player.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't doing that to these dudes. So we going, and then this is what I told them. I said, here's the deal. If anybody misses curfew, we ain't going. That's on you guys. I told the players, that's on you guys. Let me tell you something. 12 o'clock. When we got this Friday, 12 o'clock rule. Just be around, be on the floor. You don't have to be in your room, just be on the floor.
Yeah.
Never had a player late, ever. And I said, I told the leadership group, I said, you running this. You make sure. He said, coach, they ain't nobody coming late. Promise you. We did that my whole career. Our record going west, we had a really good record, man, going to the West Coast now.
We want to get treated as men, as players. You know, we want to be held accountable. You know, so when we have that with the coach, that's why I think the respect comes from.
Yep. He's saying as a player, he wants to be held accountable. He wants that from a coach so that he can build his rapport with that coach.
No, it's the old saying. I used to tell players all this, and they used to laugh when I tell them that. Help me to help you.
Yeah.
Help me so I can help you.
Help me help you. Yeah.
So it's real simple. And when you tell the players that, see, here's at the end of the day, you have ownership. You just give them direction. You give them the game plan. But hey, man, you own this, boys. Let's go. This is you guys' team. I'm just, it's funny. Like little stuff, like when we traveled, the veteran groups, even if you're a starter or not a starter, when you get on them big planes, you got them first class seats, those veterans sat up there.
Yeah.
They sat in the front. The vet guys sat in the front. You know where I sat? I sat in the last seat in the back of the plane.
Yeah.
By the bathroom.
I used to get on the plane, they say, Coach, where you going? I said, I'm in the back. I'm in the back with all the young boys.
Yeah,
right? Rooks. I'm sitting back there. You know why? Because I'm talking to the young players.
Yeah.
And if anybody wanted me to coach, come back, come talk to me. So where you going, coach? I sit in the back of the plane, man. I don't ride first class. That's up to, I didn't play. So what am I riding first class for? I ain't gonna play. That's the players. Let the players feel comfortable. Little stuff like that. you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It's little stuff, man. And they go, really, coach? I said, yeah, that's what we're going to do, man. We're doing that.
What was your favorite part about coaching? What was it that kept you going back year after year, aside from just the love of the game?
Oh, the players.
Yeah.
Because when you're in contact, look, when you're in contact with the player, there ain't nothing like that huddle, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been in a huddle my whole life with players, man. You know, it ain't nothing like it. It's just a whole different feeling, man. That's what I miss the most.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking in the huddle with the boys. Yeah, I've been in a huddle my whole life, and you walk in the huddle, man, and you're gonna fight for them guys. And you know what? You might have different views of life. It don't matter. When you walk in the huddle, it's like, hey, man, these are my boys. I'm fighting for these dudes, man. You know, and that's, my claim to fame in Philadelphia is real simple. I never missed a start. I never missed a practice. Period.
Wow.
You know why? Here's why. Because I didn't want to let my teammates down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to let them dudes down. I'm coming to work every day. Because when I walked in that huddle, I said, boys, y'all can try. They threw me in the fire, man. They said, hey, man, you going, you start. You go. And I walked in that huddle, man. I said, I ain't letting these dudes down, man. I ain't going to let these boys down. And you missed that. I tell players all the time, man. And I used to always holler at players, get in the huddle, man. Go get in the huddle. Because at the end, you looking at them other 10 guys and you're going, this is it, man. This is us. Yeah. I used to tell players, I said, man, let me tell you something. We make calls, but at the end of the day, y'all got to play.
Yeah.
I said, make us right. I used to tell players, right. And if I'm screwing you up, tell me, and we'll do something else.
You watched a lot of the Giants games this year, I'm sure. I mean, did you get the feeling that that's what was happening with the coaching?
I think it's a team that had a lot of talent, but, there was so much buzzing around the team, and it wasn't positive, right? I mean, first of all, let me tell you something. I hate to say this, and I'm not, and I get it. But you know that runner they got in Philly?
We've talked about him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask something. I don't know a lot about football, but I can remember when I was in the studio, and when that happened, I said, well, let me get this right. You gave him cab fare, and he went 100 miles south, and not only did you give him cab fare, you put him in your division?
Jeez.
I said, who does that? You can't do that. Yeah. And then the guy turns around and runs for 2,000 yards. And I go, you can't do that. Yeah. You might ain't let him play in the same division. You got to play him twice.
My God.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
That's the one sin. That's the one sin.
I don't know.
That's the one
when
sin.
I saw that one, I just said, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's the one sin I can't forgive Joe Shane for.
He's like, that's the one thing he can't forgive Joe Shane for. Not only did he let him go, but he let him go in the division, right? If you got to let him go, AFC West for you.
Send him West.
Send him to Atlanta.
That's it. That's it.
But man, no, down the street, he caught a cab.
He caught a cab. Uber Black.
You can't do that. And then here's the crazy part. Not only down the street, you didn't send him to Washington. You didn't send him to Dallas. No. You sent him to
Philadelphia.
Oh, my word. Do they not know the Philadelphia? As much as they talk about the Cowboys and all that, let me tell you something. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants,
You know it. You know it.
That's real football now.
Yeah,
My era, that was Harry Carson. That was them boys. That was that boy number 56.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they still ain't blocked him. They still ain't blocked Lawrence Taylor. They still ain't blocked him. And I'm like, oh boy. Man, them dudes was real back in the day now. Woo-wee.
Tell Coach, I learned to hate teams when I got to New York.
Yeah, he says he learned to hate teams when he got to New York. It wasn't until then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's just back in the day, man, the NFC East. Oof.
Nasty.
It was like this era of the NFC West.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you got all those teams in the NFC, 3 of them going to playoffs. That was the NFC East, man.
Yeah.
It was real now. It was the Cowboys. The Cowboys were real. Starback and them boys, they were real, man. The Giants, they were real. Washington, Theismann and them dudes, they were real.
And Doug Williams.
It was real football.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach, I have to ask this question too, because after you had your stint of it as an NFL coach, you got to coach college. Can you talk about the transition having to coach the pros and going into the college ranks, and basically the difference between the two at that point? And was there anything that you had to do different from being an NFL coach down to doing college?
No, I had a pro system, and that really helped and told the look like now it's different now with the portal and with paying the players. That wasn't hit yet, but I had no problem going in people's homes now. Mm-hmm. When I walked in there, we got them.
Yeah.
Watch this. Now, listen to this now. Watch this. Okay. Quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Running back, Rashid White. Wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall. Other wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Oh, no. I had guys. Jack Jones, left corner.
Yep.
Chase Lucas, the right corner. Oh, no. I had NFL guys. And the NFL scouts, when I was at Arizona State, they said, Coach, we coming to visit you. I said, yeah, because I got these guys.
Got the guys.
I got guys now.
Yep.
We recruited Purdy, but Purdy didn't want to come because he had to sit the bench for 2 years behind Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
I started Jaden as a freshman.
True freshman, yeah.
Yeah. He beat your boy. He beat your boy Herbert. When Oregon was the fourth, they came down there. We ran them up out of there.
Love it.
Also, Herm, going one thing quick back with the Giants, being in the same building as they were. Was there ever any type of one-upmanship? Were you trying to ever, pound your chest a little bit more at the time when you were a coach against the Giants? And
it's funny. They had Coach Coughlin there.
Okay.
And it's funny, so people don't realize this. Coach Coughlin was the wide receiver coach when I was in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And he was now can you imagine? Coach Coughlin was the wide receiver coach. I'm playing corner.
Yeah.
So you have those meetings at night in training camp. Dick. And love Coughlin, great coach. So he was back then the same way. Meeting's supposed to end at 10 o'clock, and he had them boys in there until 10:05.
Yeah.
And the DBs, us, we you can't stay at a meeting long. I mean, the coach let us out at 9:30, because we're crazy. And so at about 9:35, I'd walk over to buy the receiver meeting room, and they were in there individually. I'd open the door. I say, it don't matter what you draw up, Coach. I'm covering him tomorrow. Because I'm going to cover him. Boy, he looked at me. He would look at me like, because he was just a wide receiver coach. I said, Coach, they ain't getting open tomorrow. Coach, it ain't going to matter. I drove him crazy. And then, he started, and then he got up and became head coach. And then even with the Giants, look, I had a good rapport with him. But it was funny. So when I was with the Jets, where did they used to practice at?
Florham Park, right? With
Long
Island. Long Island.
But anyway, here's the deal. I have this joint practice. And so he says, well, Coach, and it's like a 2-hour ride from where we were at, because we were at the Hofstra.
Yeah,
we had to go up that way, right? Yep. And he says, well, Coach, we'll get the hotel, we'll get the dorm rooms for you. I said, no, Coach, we don't need no dorm rooms. I said, we're going to leave in the morning. He said, what? I said, yeah, we're leaving in the morning. I'm going to get them up at 4:30. I'm waking them up, and I had the blow horn. So I'm going out there. It's training camp. So I'm blowing the horn. They're getting in the bus. We coming. I'm doing this all on purpose because I want to see how tough we are. I do. I'm testing them. Get up, guys are coming out of the rooms with pillows, man. They're half asleep. They're mad. They're grumbling and bumbling. And I know what's going to happen. I said, I'm setting them up. They're going to be so mad when we get up there. And, Coach, let me tell you something. Warm-ups. Coughlin goes to one field, I go to the other field. And then I'm on one field, he's with the other field. So both head coaches are separated. Within about 15 minutes, he comes sprinting up there where I'm at. And he said, and the defense is with him. My defense is down there. And he's going, Herm. I said, is Temple hot, Coach? He says, Oh, they got to slow him down. I said, Coach, I can't. I woke these boys up at 4:30. They mad. They mad. Let me tell you something. We didn't get through the practice.
Oh, really?
He called it off. We got an hour within it, and he called it off. And I knew it was going to happen.
Fighting.
And my players were like, Coach. And I said, okay, we're back on the buses. They were cheering. I said, boys, I looked at them. I said, you did good, boys. You did good. And I took them. We went to some hamburger stand or something.
Oh, yeah.
And because, Coughlin was a great coach. Look, love Tom Coughlin. Great. But he had his way of doing it.
Sure.
But I had my way of doing it too. And it was like, hey, man, I get it. And, you coach your team the way you coach them. Obviously, great coach, accomplished many. But I'm going to coach my team the way I coach them.
Sure.
And the players got it. And it was
why they hired you.
Hey, man, I'm me. I'm who I am. I'm going to be me.
Yep.
Hey, fellas.
But we had a lot of fun.
Ask Herm, where should the Giants go in the first round? I picked number 5 for the draft.
Yeah, so JC's curious. Where do you think we ought to go with pick number 5 in the draft? You have an idea of a position group?
I don't know that. I mean, I think this. You got a really good front.
Yep.
What's behind the front, right? On defense, because at the end of the day, guys, you look at the tournament right now. The Texans got a good defense.
Yeah.
New England Patriots got a good defense, right? Denver Broncos got it, right? I mean, Seattle got a good defense. A week ago when I was in the studio, I'm messing with everybody, and I don't know who's going to the Super Bowl. I have no idea. They said, what you think, Coach? I said, here's the deal. This is what's going to happen. Denver and Seattle are going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
And I said, the score is going to be 3-2. So you might not want to watch it because it's going to be 3-2.
It's going to be the worst game to watch ever.
Oh my God! And I hope it happens. Or Houston goes. If Houston goes and plays Seattle, it's 3-2.
Yeah. I'm with Coach.
3-2. I mean,
people be calling
it the score. So I don't know.
Scoring games boring. I just call it a defensive game. That's it.
JC just calls them defensive games. That's
it. That's it. Gotta love it.
But
it's being played.
But here's the deal, and I think it's an offensive game. We know it. I mean, the rules are for the offense. But when you can have good defense, here's what happens. Like in New York, like in New England, you can play a young quarterback, and let's say you get 12 possessions, maybe 14 at the most. You can go 3 and out, 2 or 3 possessions, and not panic, because there's going to be the defense doesn't let them score. So you're kind of okay. You're always in the game. Defense keeps you in the game. It's always a one-score game. Things don't get away from you. So when you're playing a young quarterback, you're not stressed saying, "Oh man, we're down 21. I'm gonna get this poor kid killed. Now he's gonna turn the ball over 2 times." And they let you develop a quarterback. Denver, young quarterback.
Yeah.
New England, young quarterback.
Sure.
The Bears.
They let you develop a young guy where he's not stressed.
Yeah. I was saying the Bears is another example of that.
Oh, boy. You talk about coaching matters?
Yeah.
Think about this, guys.
Yeah.
Caleb, now, we played against Caleb because he was at SC when I had Jaden. This guy took 68 sacks last year.
Wow.
68. He ain't even the same guy anymore.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different dude. It was like the guy at SC that we used to play against. I remember his first year, I said, hey, man, this dude's a better player than that now. He way better than that. And the fans were mad. Fans were thinking, they should have took Jaden Daniels. So, no. You got the right guy. And when Ben Johns came in there, and it was like, first of all, son, you're going under center. You're going to learn how to take the ball from the center. And you're going to play action, and we'll get you some gun too, but you're going to learn how to play quarterback now. Let me tell you something, boy. That team is fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right?
There they are.
And their defense, they're not great, but this is what they do. They got 33 takeaways.
Yep.
33. They lead the league. They got 33 takeaways.
That's enough. It's
kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what we're hoping for with Jackson Dart, right? I think that's what we're all hoping to see. We've got a young nucleus of talent. We've got guys that can be coached. Now that we've got the right guy in the spot, and hopefully, he'll bring the right coordinators in. We're looking at a possibility of the same kind of turnaround, and that would
and the division. When you think about it, look, the Eagles. Look, They run amok.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it. They've run amok now offensively.
Mm.
That offense is like, well, they 100 Dallas Cowboys, they can play offense with anybody.
Sure.
Got one of the best offenses in the league, but they can't stop nobody. Okay.
Awful defense. Yeah.
So you look at Washington. Washington got the quarterback hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Multiple
So
times.
they're and defensively, they're okay. Giants got a new coach. So it's not like, hey, we look, the Eagles only won 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
And like they ran away with anything. Cowboys 7-9-1, right? Washington's 5-12, and I know they lose the quarterback. I get that. But when you go, we can compete in this division.
Sure.
We're okay. We just got to figure out our pieces and say, how does this all work?
Yep.
Herman, another question I had for you, because obviously you've been broadcasting for years. When you make the transition back from the booth back onto the field, do you find it easier to get a handle on what the culture, whether it's college or pros, when you get back onto the field, understanding the landscape changing like that, because you're able to watch pretty much not just one team, you're watching everybody?
Question.
What happens is that you get so much information. You're privy to a lot of information, right?
Mm.
And you can see it unfolding. You can just when you're coaching a team, you got funnel vision, man. You're just worried about your team. You don't listen to the outside noises. You just leave that alone. But when you're a part of the outside noise, a lot of information. You watch things and you watch everybody, right? So you get different ideas. There's always another idea you look at and say, like all of a sudden, the deal now in football is, before you didn't even think about going on fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
You cross the 50, everybody's going for it on fourth down now. Like, okay, we got fourth down play. So what's your fourth down play now, right? I mean, it's crazy, but everybody goes fourth down. Sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not, but because of analytics, it's another thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, see, and I always said, what's great about analytics? I said, it's numbers, but here, the numbers don't know what offensive line is playing against that defensive line or vice versa. See, they don't see that part. The analytics, they just numbers. They don't feel the tension of, we can't block them guys.
Right.
Analytics don't know that.
They don't
just know
factor into
this.
Myles Garrett.
And I always say, what I always used to do, and I learned this, when the ball is being hiked, I always wanted to stand by the ball from the sideline and see where the line of scrimmage was going.
Yeah.
Are we pushing them or are they pushing us? And as the game continued to go on, I wanted to watch it. And I knew if we're pushing them, I said, boys, we're good. We're really good right now. We control that. Because when you control that, to me, then fourth down, okay. But when you ain't controlling that and you're looking at analytics, and analytics says, yeah, you go. And I'm going, we ain't knocked these guys off the ball yet.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's what I believe in.
Makes sense. I mean, it's the actuality of being on the field and observing the game, and knowing what you know about the game and putting it to use.
Yeah, the game. I used to tell coaches, hey man, it ain't about plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's about players. And the next thing is this. Guys, just listen to your eyes.
Yeah.
Just listen to your eyes, man. Watch the game. And and I always believe this too. This is funny. There's always a perception when you take a job. You know who the players are. And I've always said this, what we ought to do in football every once in a while when you come to camp? Don't put jersey numbers on the players. Just let them go play. Like when you go to the park and you play basketball.
Pickup game. Yeah.
And you got a pickup game and you're standing over there and you go, the guy with orange hair. Well, the guy over there, he got black socks on. Okay. And you're kind of watching the three guys you're going to pick. And you're going, yeah, man. And they all kind of different dudes, but you're just watching them because you don't know who they are. See, you don't know who they are. And sometimes in football and in sports, because we know who the player is, we kind of give him that. I go, no. Let's just put no numbers on and let them play. And then tell me now, who's the best players?
Yeah.
Right.
Who are the best players? That's all we said, players. I said, I don't care if you got drafted first, last. I don't care if you're a 10-year player, 5-year player. Who are the best players?
Mm-hmm.
Play the best players. But see, we don't do that sometimes. We get caught up in this other stuff.
Sure.
Play the best players because the players know who the best players are.
Yeah.
The players ain't stupid.
Yep.
They see them dudes practicing every day. They know who the good players are. That's why I used to tell those players, I say, hey, man, let me tell y'all something. When I went to Philadelphia with the Eagles, listen to this now, 14 regular season games, 6 preseason games, 6 back in my era.
Well,
we had 25 defensive backs, 25. We brought 120 guys to training. We training camp 6 weeks. It's real football. 6 weeks.
Yeah.
3 days?
Right.
Was it 2 days?
2 days. And we had Dick
days?
Vermeil. We had Dick Vermeil. And he went, and the greatest thing happened to me was this. Jaworski was a starting quarterback. Roman Gabriel was the backup quarterback. Roman Gabriel. The Roman Gabriel.
Yeah.
So we're at Widener College. After the first practice, Roman Gabriel walks up to me and says, hey, man, I was a rookie. He said, you walk with me every day to practice. Practice was about, we were at Widener. Like a mile, right? You had to walk from the locker room all the way up to these fields. He said, you walk with me every day. I walk with him. He talked to me about being a professional football player. He saw something in me after about the second day of camp, and he looked at me, he says, and I said, hey, man, I got a shot at this. He said, a shot? He said, hell, you the best corner we got. I said, and I thought that too, but I didn't know he didn't even rookie.
Sure.
And he goes, hey, he said, man, he said, Herman, don't even worry about that. But I got to teach you how to be a pro.
That's so important.
And he taught me, and he just gave me information, man.
Yeah.
And then I walked back from practice with the guy. And I walk with him, man, every day.
Wow.
And I learned how to be a professional football player.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Player coach. Yeah.
Roman Gabriel.
Hey,
Great man, boy. And was a great player in his day. Was a great player, boy.
I got a question for Coach, and,
All right.
this is strictly on him playing as a defensive player. We all know the great defensive players from like his time, 70s, 80s, right? Who was the offensive guy that you were like, man, we got to go against this dude this week?
Yeah. So he said, as a defensive player, you played with amazing players on the defensive side of the ball. When you were back in the day and you were looking at offensive players, who were the ones that you were like, man, we really got to pay attention to this guy? Who were the ones that you were up against that were the most difficult to cover?
Well, back those guys, they Dallas was pretty good. They had Drew and them boys. And in Miami, with Marino, they had Duper and Clayton and those guys, right?
Yeah, super duper.
Look, I mean, in the league, it's funny. So Joe Namath, watch this one. Joe Namath, I watched Joe Namath win the Super Bowl when I was in high school. So the first game of the season, we played the Rams in L.A. You know who the quarterback is? Joe Namath. So now I'm standing there as a rookie corner, and I'm going, man, I'm playing against Joe Namath. You believe this, man? And I was like, my God, I'm playing against Joe Namath.
Yep.
Wide receiver named Harold Jackson, number 29, could fly, could flat run. And so we're in the Coliseum playing. About the second series, I'm going, I know he's going to test me deep. I know he's going to test me deep because that's what he's going to do. He throws a deep one on me. I intercept the ball. That's my first NFL interception against Joe Namath. Okay, so I get Joe Willie. So the game's over. We don't win. They actually beat us. We don't win because we weren't very good our first couple of years, and then we got pretty good. So I have this ball, and we're walking back into the Coliseum to the locker room, and I got the ball, man. And some of the Ram players and Joe Willie's up there, and I'm going. I said, and I asked somebody, I said, you think he'd sign this ball for me? He said, no. And it's ironic because when I became the head coach of the Jets, Joe Willie was there, man. He was at the press conference, and I kind of told him the story. He says, I remember. He said, that was my first NFL interception, man. It was like, man, God, man, I intercepted awesome. Joe Willie, man. It was like a thrill of my life, to play against him, obviously, watching the guy. But, there were good players. Our league then, back in the late 70s, 80s, was a running league. The running back. You're talking Riggins, Tony Dorsett. That's that era of guys, man. The Giants, what was the guy from Houston, the white running back? Carter, or not Carter, what was his name? Big running back.
I was going to say Earl Campbell, but that's not.
Not Earl. Not Earl. part of the fumble. It wasn't Zonka. Was Zonka there?
It was Zonka, yeah.
Zonka. So Zonka was there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, the running backs were in the league. The St. Louis Cardinals. They had Terry Metcalf and those guys. Jim Hart, they were in the NFC East back in those days, right? The Cardinals, they weren't in they were part of the NFC East. The NFC East back in those days was really good because in the 70s, it was the Dallas Cowboys. And then we knocked the Cowboys off. And we became the team. And then the Giants knocked us. And then the Giants became the team. It was just kind of funny how it went. That, and that was with Phil Simms and those guys, And so it's kind of ironic how the NFC East, those were the teams, and the Pittsburgh Steelers seemed like they were always going to the Super Bowl. That's when they had to, Mean Joe Green and all those guys, right? Sure. So, in that era, it was different. In the late 70s and the 80s, it was a running league. You had all these running backs, like you mentioned, Earl Campbell. You had running backs, man. Tony Dorsett could fly. Mercury Moore. Backs, man. Running backs were big back in those days. O.J. Simpson was toward the end of his career. Sure. They had backs.
Yep. And I appreciate you calling it the fumble, not the miracle in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, I was in the right. It's funny. People say, Coach, your miracle mountain. I said, what, some guys? I said, what's interesting? People don't realize. Or maybe they do. I had 38 interceptions. That's the most in Eagle history.
Yeah.
5 of them came in playoff competition.
Wow.
And no one mentioned the fumble. I said, I get the fumble. I said, but that kind of intercepts the balls too, by the way.
Yeah.
No one mentions that. But okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all good.
Coach, would you like to participate in our weekly trivia?
Oh, it's out. That's what they had me do on Good Morning America. Go ahead. I never get it right.
All right.
I'm with you. That's fine. We'll be there together.
Well, it is a Giants question, and it is a coaching question for the Giants. So here it is. Ryan, ready? You ready to read it out?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's do it. All right, here's the question. Which Giants head coach had the shortest tenure in team history, excluding interim coaches? The head coach with the shortest tenure.
Shortest tenure.
Okay. He usually gives us some options. Yep, let's see the options.
Here they come, and there are the choices.
Yep. I think I know which one I'm going to suggest, but okay.
Oh. I'm guessing.
I'll put it back up. Back up.
I'm going to go with A.
Ray Handley. Okay. JC, what do you think?
I'm not sure. I was a part of Ben McAdoo. He did a year and a half. I'm going Ben McAdoo.
That's what I was going to say too. Benny with the good hair. Yeah, let's do it.
And the correct answer is Ben McAdoo, a season and a half. So
a season and a half, huh? Oh, boy.
Season and a half.
Hard New York City, man. It's hard New York City.
Herb, you have no idea. It's been a tough 7 years, my friend.
Yeah. 7?
I get it. Well, things will, Coach Harbaugh's there. Things will, they'll get better.
It's funny. I have been on the bandwagon of when you're bringing in a coach, especially in New York, you need to have someone who has the experience. You can't keep taking shots and hoping a coordinator is going to hit. You need to have someone who's respected, who's proven that he can build a culture, not just a winning team, a culture. And that's what this Giants team has been missing since Tom Coughlin has left.
Yeah, and everybody was mad at Coughlin. Hey, this it is, but he won, man. And at the end of the day, players want to win.
Yeah. And
players don't want to lose; they actually want to win. Believe it or not, some people don't think that they want to. I don't care how much money they make. Players want to win football games. That's important.
That's why they don't want to hear about tanking. They don't want to hear that. They're playing the game. That's
you play the game, man.
Yeah,
you play. They want to, because I've always said this in athletics. It's not a career.
Yeah,
like being a doctor or a reporter or something. You're day to day, man. Yeah. You can get hurt and your career is done. You can't say, "Well, I'm gonna play 10 years." I played 10 years. But you're hopeful that, hey, if I can stay healthy and I can get through this, but you don't know. You're day to day, man. You get hurt, your career could end.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. Blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Herm, we really appreciate you coming on, man. This was
my pleasure.
A lot of fun. And love to have you when the season comes a little closer. Love to have you on.
Absolutely.
especially during camp. This was an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine, man. And you know what? Hey, look, I'm an NFC East fan. As long as the NFC East is doing good, I'm good. Football fan. But, I just look, the Giants is when you think about the New York Giants, they are one of the franchises that needs to be relevant.
Yeah.
Because of the history.
Sure.
Right. It's like I always tell people, the Cleveland Browns, I say, guys, the Cleveland Browns need to be relevant. Okay. There's certain teams that when you think about pro football, there are certain teams that were like these were the teams that got it started, boys.
Green Bay, Chicago.
Yeah. Three of it. When you look back, and I always used to tell young players, hey, man, you need to read the history of this league, man. They don't know the history.
Yeah.
They don't understand the history. I said, man, you don't have to be a fan, but you need to know how this thing all started. And the Giants are one of those teams, right? And I always tell about I'm on Cleveland. I go on Cleveland radio a lot, and they say, Coach, what do you think about the Cleveland Browns? I said, all I know is this: they need to be relevant, because in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, and I didn't play against the man, but I met the man. Greatest player ever played was Jim Brown, in my opinion. My favorite game of football. When you think about what he was able to accomplish in the short period, and I tell people all the time, understand this. He didn't play in a passing league. He played in a running league. And everybody knew he was going to get the ball. All 11 of those guys on defense said. And then they gave him the ball. He's sitting 7 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And everybody in the stadium knows we got to tackle 32. They couldn't tackle him.
Yep. Didn't matter.
They could not tackle the man. And I'm like, 11 guys. You don't have to play pass. You don't have anything. We're giving it to him. Can you stop him?
Nope.
If you ever watch this, I used to tell young guys, go watch Jim Brown play, man.
Yeah.
You want to see a football player? Between him and now my favorite guy of all the players that play in the NFL, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He is a football player, guys.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of fun to watch.
If you don't know anything about football, go sit and watch him play. Just watch him play. And you'll go, who is this dude, man?
Yep.
Coach, let me tell you something. And then I'm going to get off. When they break the huddle on offense, who are you afraid of? The runner and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a two-man band. They got two players.
That's all it has to be.
Yeah.
It's them two guys.
Two pretty
It's like,
good players.
how does he keep doing this?
Yeah. JC's right. Two very good players.
Yeah.
Two very good players. Coach, thank you again so much. I can't thank you enough. This
My
was
pleasure,
awesome.
man. God bless
Thank
you all now. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
The great Herman Edwards joining us here on the Big Blue Report. Man, I can listen to him all night. I don't know, guys. It's one of the reasons why I was like, this coaching search, we need to have him on, because he can just give such an insight. And as soon as he started explaining about how, obviously it's different now than it was when he was interviewing for coaching jobs, but being able to fully understand what's the process like, and for him to be able to do that explain that was great.
That's great insight. Yeah, it's something that me being on the outside, I'll never see. Right? We don't get in the locker room. We don't get in the as a fan, normal fan. So just to have that insight is just phenomenal. It's a good look. It's good context.
Great score, Randy. I mean, you talk about a guy that played in the NFC East as a player, coached in New York as a coach, right? Very relevant to the things that we're talking about. Gave us great perspective. I just wish I could have talked to him.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I had so many questions for him, and I'm like, I won't be able to get it across going through you guys. The first one, I was trying to shorten it up, and it still was so long. But man, he gave us some great insight. That perspective from former player, former NFL coach, former coach in New York, giving us that perspective. That was gold, Randy. Good stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Ben McAdoo and Tom McCaughlin didn't return my phone call. So McAdoo, I said, I want to talk about the Giants. He hung up on me. He said, it's too soon. It's too soon. Guys, real quick. Obviously, when the news broke this week about John Harbaugh we had this debate last week on whether it's the right choice because of his age, or you want to have somebody who's going to be able to grow with Jackson. But at the end of the day, this fan base is involved, like is invested in wanting to win now. They waited long enough. We talked about throughout the whole season the record of this franchise since 2017. This fan base does not want to have another season where beginning of October our season's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the reality. That's reality of it.
Well, and here's the thing. It's beyond just the fans. The players are dying for wins. They are absolutely pining for the days of a winning locker room, a winning culture. It really is the only thing that's going to turn this ship around is buying into a system that works, seeing it work, seeing the evidence of the effort that they're going to be putting in, seeing that pay off. That's what's going to take us further than we could ever go without it.
I'm going to take you guys back to 2022.
Yeah, do it.
When the Giants beat the Indianapolis Colts to basically get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I went out with those guys that night in New York, right? Sterling, Saquon, right? They brought Daniel Jones out.
Oh, wow.
And like being around those dudes, they were so happy. Like, bro, they were like shirts off. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this is New York City in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but like that's why when I say I feel bad for the players, I was spoiled, especially early in my career. In New Orleans, we won 13 straight games.
Yeah.
When I started my career, we went 13-0, lost 3 straight, and then we won a Super Bowl. So like I was already a winner my first season. And of course I understood what that was, but some of these guys, Dexter Lawrence, one
had to
go there.
Had to do it. Damn it.
Dexter Lawrence has one winning season in his whole career. Yeah. Darius Slayton, one winning season. Andrew Thomas, all of these veterans that's played a significant amount of football for the New York Football Giants.
One winning
season. I want them. I want them to have that feeling again for 2022. But consistently, like we don't know who's going to be here, moving forward. The guys that I named, hopefully those guys, Slayton is like, I don't know if they can afford to keep him and Wandale when they do the deal. And he didn't have a great season, but I'm still a fan of his, and I would love for him to win in New York.
Sure.
Chris Slayton.
Yeah, Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton. I was going to call him all the different Slaytons I played against in my career. I was going to call him all the different Slaytons.
Well, look, the dead cap space is $15 million, so he'll be here next year.
Yeah.
But our jobs so much better and fruitful, and lively, like in our day to day. I'm telling you, New York will be happier as a city, as a metropolitan area. We'll be happier with some wins. And Randy, I don't know how many games you went to this year, Ryan. The attendance, and you can't even blame the fans. It was disgusting.
Yeah,
what I saw at the stadium this year.
It was awful, and
it was so bad.
And guys, Slayton. I was having a conversation with Slayton with a couple of the other writers last year when we were in the locker room during one of the practices, and they were talking like one of the. I don't remember. I'm not going to throw the reporter underneath the bus who asked this question, but I'll give you Slayton's answer. And they asked him about, has this been an enjoyable season? And he goes, no. He's like, my most enjoyable season was 2022 because we made the playoffs.
Sure.
And then Slayton looked back at us and he says, what's your most enjoyable season covering this team? And that writer said 2022. He's like, yeah, winning makes everything a lot easier. It makes dealing with us a lot easier. It makes us dealing with you and you guys dealing with us a lot easier when it's winning.
Solves a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah, so the players don't like the media in their faces when they're losing.
Why would you?
You know what I mean?
Hey, you guys sucked ass this week. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You dropped your third pass of the season on 4th down.
Yeah.
So I saw that interception.
How'd that make you feel? Yeah.
So the game-winning interception, you guys could have won this game. You dropped that. Can you take us back to that play, please?
Yeah.
Why do you suck so bad?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that's the thing about New York media.
They'll ask that question.
They will ask the tough questions. And if you try to circumvent the question, somebody else is going to ask the same exact question.
I cannot tell you.
Jordan Renan.
Pat
Leonard.
Yeah.
I can't tell you in all my years. Now, keep in mind, 2011 is when I first started covering the Giants. I can't tell you how many times I heard a question asked, and then it was asked 6 different ways after that question was asked. I cannot
get what
tell
they
you.
wanted. Yeah,
but I will tell you my favorite media moment. It was the only time ever I got afraid of Tom Coughlin.
Oh,
is I went to a day training camp, and there was a young reporter in front of me who asked Coughlin a question, and I don't know if he was just in a bad mood, but he turned to the kid. He says, "Were you at practice yesterday?" And the kid goes, "No." He goes, "I answered that question yesterday. You should be paying attention for it. Next question, please." I was like, okay, we're just going to leave Tom alone for the rest of this media session.
Put that kid on the school bus, man. He's driving him to school.
God, yeah. But look, like JC, in 2017, I just remember coming over to you during a preseason game. And Giants had a really big lead, and I think won by like 1 or 2 points. And the one thing that you said to the media was the things that's concerning for me was we blew a big lead. It doesn't matter if it's a preseason game or not. And I remember you saying that, and I think I actually still have the recording of it, of you saying that, and everybody looked at you like you were nuts. But I just remember looking at him saying, "No, he's right. You just blew a big lead. It doesn't matter." Yeah. And that sort of like stuck with my mind throughout the whole entire season. It's those things.
Let me tell you something. I hated losing. Mm-hmm. Like I was, like when I was playing down in Tampa, the 2 years I was in Tampa, like I don't think I was depressed, but I was miserable. Mm-hmm. Like I'm living in 80-degree weather. I had a beautiful house. I had a pool in the back. I was on a pond. Like I was living. I had my Mercedes. Like I was living a life. I was miserable. Like I had one of my good friends was staying with me at the time, and like I wouldn't talk to him like at all, like the whole week. Like we didn't win a lot in Tampa. I think in 2 years, I think we won like 4 or 5 games.
Damn.
And I wasn't a happy camper. And then I was still living in Tampa, right? When I got traded to New England in 2014, won a Super Bowl. And now I'm still living in Tampa, so I go back to Tampa, and my roommate's like, "Bruh, I'm so glad you went to New England because you were an asshole when you were here." Yeah, I used to come home, not talk to him at all, bro. Like, and this one used to piss me off, right? I had this radio, radio speaker, right? I still have it. It's old as hell. I still got it. Still works, right? So I used to get so mad because I'll be playing the music, but connected to it. So when he would come home from work, his music would kick on. Yeah. Right? And instead of being like, "Hey, yo, just disconnect your Bluetooth," I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like yelling throughout the house, "Cut your fucking Bluetooth off." Like, yeah, bro. They must have lost yesterday.
Yeah.
I just remember. I wasn't in the locker room, but I remember when the story broke. And JC, I don't know if you were on the team or not at this point, but Eric Flowers was there.
Yeah.
And Eric Flowers pushed Jordan Renan. There was an incident with him and Jordan Renan.
I don't remember that.
There was an incident. Eric yelled at him, and I think he pushed Jordan away. And it turned into a big thing. And someone asked me about it, and I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised with the way the media can just because we talk about losing and the effect that it had, and not only losing, but Eric Flowers was a lightning rod to the media.
Like you wanted to say something to him to get him a little fired up. But I think that's why I think, when I look back at a lot of the interviews that I did, like from Tampa and stuff, mind you, every interview is after a loss, and I look back and I'm like, you were pretty composed. Like I could see I'm mad. Like I can look at my face, but like, yo, I can see you're pissed. But like I'm composed. I always give pretty honest answers without throwing anybody under the bus. But this is what the media does, bro. This is what the media does, right? So I'm in Tampa, and they asked me, the question was, because offensively we were struggling. I mean, we were getting our asses kicked every week. So all phases of the game, we were getting our asses kicked. So they asked me about the offense specifically, and I said, all three phases we didn't play well. Like we played bad. And for me, I play on two phases. I play on defense and special teams. So I'm a part of those two phases. So like we gotta improve, because if we don't improve, like we won't win any games. The headline of the article was Casillas says offense is struggling, or Casillas says offense struggles.
Calls out the offense.
And I'm just like, first of all, no, that's crazy. But like that's the media. The media, when things are bad, they're asking you those questions to kind of trip you up. Even if it's not, like you said, a bad answer, the way they can phrase it, the way they can do it. And that's why, Randy, for real, that's why the players hate the media, because they do stupid stuff like that, and for me, not that I hated media. I always talk to you guys, but in 2017, when it was bad, bro, I ran from the media. I ran. Like I was on injured reserve, and they would come in the locker room, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. And I would just go into the training room, because I didn't want to get those tough questions, where they're gonna ask, and I'm not even playing. So that's why I felt like I shouldn't be talking, because I'm not playing. I can't put the responsibility on me. Like I can't do that. So I felt like I didn't want to speak to the media, because usually whenever, we lose a game or we don't play well, defensively, we give up a lot of points, whatever the case is, I could always put it on myself. I have to play better, and then I could talk about somebody else or another phase of the game. But like when I wasn't playing, I couldn't do it. So the media, it's a necessity to talk to them. Like contractually, we have to talk to the media. But man, sometimes, Randy, you guys can be some assholes sometimes.
Yeah. Terry Banks didn't even wait to get his pants on. He was running out the room.
Yeah.
He had his pants on his head as he was running out of the room. Well, that's why that's why I usually find during camp a couple of the guys who I try to build that nice rapport with. So like they know when I'm coming over, they know I'm not coming over to ask them. Like Singletary, every single time he saw me this year, we always had a really good conversation. When I asked him about stuff for the game, he was he was able to be honest, and he'd be like, "Don't print this, but," and he'd say, "Is like my favorite was Michael Thomas, the defensive player. Michael Thomas told me the one time he's like, in 2019, he's like, "How do you expect us to win games?" He goes, "Don't print this, but how are we supposed to win games?" And when we're in a zone back there, and we have one guy who's playing man and didn't realize that we were in a zone. And I was like, and then I said, off the record, who is it? He goes, Baker.
DeAndre Baker. I knew it. Hey, how long did he play in the league for?
Was he the second round pick? Was he the guy that was supposed to save our secondary? And
yeah, he was one who was going to save the secondary. He lasted a season and a half with the Giants. Went, I think, somewhere else for a half a season. Then he got arrested.
Right. He got arrested.
Yeah, he was a bad boy.
He got the robbery charge. I remember that.
That's right. Yeah. Well,
on that note,
let's always end on a positive note like that. Nothing like a good old fashioned battery charge. We should always end. Robbery charge. I mean,
it was robbery.
It was a little robbery. It's not like it was prostitution. Anyway. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Big Blue Report. We'll be back next week with another great episode talking Giants football. Appreciate Ryan, the producer, in the background. Special thanks to Herman Edwards for joining us. And for the two-time Super Bowl the Super Bowl champion, the former defensive captain.
He'll get it out.
And the Professor Ryan Darlington. I'm Randy Zellea from Back Sports Page, and we will see you next time here on the Big Blue Report. Thanks very much. See you then.